So today we have another Relic Reveal from Jagex. We have on November 14th, the 4th day of Relic Reveals, we have Grimoire. And what it is, it's basically a way to swap between all your spell books regardless of area, meaning you will have access to the normal, ancient, and archaic spellbook. This book that you get from the relic will also act as a Book of the Dead, so you'll be able to summon thralls. Additionally, when you select this relic, you will unlock access to all prayers and spells regardless of areas, quest, or diary requirements, including Rigor, Augury, Chivalry, Preserve, and Piety. This is... well, first of all, see you later, Kandarin. Big goodbye. There's like very little going for Kandarin as it speaks right now, unless you really love Thermonuclear Smoke Devil. And then the other thing here is that Karen is kind of just like trash. Okay, so this may offend people, but I kind of feel Karen is pretty trash. Personally, I'm not a fan of Chambers of Xeric, and for me, like, if I had to pick Karen, it would be more so to get the Dex and Arcane Prayer Scrolls and Thralls, because Thralls are massive for DPS. They're like 30-something damage a minute, and you're always fighting stuff, so you could just like summon Thralls and have them continuously add that free damage for you. And now you could pick any region and you'll have all the prayers accessible, and you'll be able to swap between Archaeus and Ancients and Normals. Like, you can summon Thralls, and you can Barrage, and you can cast Vengeance. This has a side effect of also weakening the desert region, because now you could just do your build and not have to commit to the desert region in order to get ancient magics. Very cool. So a lot of implications with this. If this competes with the Golden God Relic, then this is an easy pick for me, because I am personally going to be picking this unless they have like some serious contenders, because the ability to just skip over Kandarin and Zaya and have all the prayers for damage plus Thralls whenever I want, this is like a pretty good sell. So yeah, I'm curious what other relics this will compete with in the future. That is to be revealed. However, as it stands right now, this Grimoire thing is on point. This is A tier, if not S tier. So there is one thing I wanted to ask you guys in particular, and that is in relation to the Echo bosses that were revealed yesterday. If you haven't checked out my video on that, I did a reaction to Jagex's video going over all of the Echo locations with their respective bosses and rewards. So the way that I was planning my route was I'll be picking Varlamore first. Shout out to the Echo Soul Heredit. Shout out to anyone who's like trying to do Coliseum for the first time. I'm sure you'll be able to do it, even though it's a very hard piece of content. Leagues will make this a lot more accessible, so I hope that you'll be able to try it out if you are picking Varlamore. So I will be picking Varlamore, and then I'm going to be picking Fremnik because of the rewards. The rewards are monstrous for any build. They're just like ridiculously high in stat bonus for both jewelry pieces. But now I am conflicted with the third region, because I was going to, it's like not really clear which one I would prefer, because I'm going between two choices, and that is this the desert, where you get basically a beefed up blowpipe, right? Versus Mauritania, which has a, where is it? Right here. Which has a higher it has a trash echo reward, not gonna lie. I mean, like, it's pretty good, but like, it's not worth creating a whole account around. And the thing is, for Mauritania, that it has access to the Nightmare and Theater of Blood. Those are both really fun pieces of content, and you could Darok bomb like 200s, which is also really fun. We don't know what the current combat masteries are for this league, so it remains to be seen just how fun all this will be. But I am torn between these two regions. One is Mauritania, where I just listed the pros for me are that it has things like Nightmare, which is a fun encounter. It has Theater of Blood, which is also a fun encounter. However, the Echo reward leaves to be desired, but it has Darok bombing attached to it, so that's pretty cool. But then for Desert, with this new relic that was revealed, you get access to Ancients regardless, so you don't need the Desert. However, even though we have a melee focus for this league, they did state that there would be combat masteries for this league, meaning that, in my opinion, I don't feel like we're going to get similar relics to the previous league where you have to spec into one specific combat style. It feels like this is going to be either a hybrid or tribrid league setup. And based on the regions that I was picking before, Varlamore and Fremnik, with Fremnik completely blowing Kandarin out the water by not needing the occult, and the Emperor ring substituting anything else that you're lacking for DPS in any of the combat triangle, it puts me in this state where I'm really good for mage and I'm really good for melee because of the Blood Moon set and the potentially the Soul Heritage Spear into the Scythe later on. And obviously I will need a third region with a raid attached to it in order to access the raid weapons themselves. So yeah, I will need a third region to access a raid, and I wasn't initially sure if I was going to even take a third region with a raid, but I feel like it's in my best interest to do so. I'm torn because personally, I enjoy Tombs of Amasket more than the other raids. That may be controversial to some, but I just don't like Chambers of Zarek at all. Theater of Blood is very fun. The Nightmare is pretty fun, but I personally really like Tombs of Amasket. I like the ability to get rewarded for scaling up the raid. And the other benefit for the desert is that you'll get access to this blowpipe, which is a heavy hitting range weapon, and you'll get access to Missouri and a Fang. And the Light Bearer, I guess, if you're counting that. But if you're going for Emperor Ring, you're probably not using Light Bearer. So the main appeal for the desert is that it can fill out your range combat triangle. And then you'll be set with Mage because, for the regions I have, because of the Desert Treasure 2 aspect with Vardorvis, and for Leviathan, and for Duke if you have Fremnik, so you can farm all of the Virtus pieces. And then your jewelry slots are filled in for you with Fremnik. Your mage is covered, your melee is covered, range is lacking. Desert really completes that range parameter, while also offering a raid to do for all the 3 mega rares. Mauritania, you're relying on barrows for the range, and you are locked to using Gloves of the Damned, so you have to also grind out Karos for it. But it has Nightmare, and it has Theater of Blood, so I am not sure. I'm not sure. That's the predicament I'm in right now. I'm still leaning towards Desert. I really don't like some of the league tasks, like getting to 95 fletching, for example, and to do Pyramid Plunder a bunch of times, and to do the squirk shit. Like, all of that is really tedious and bothersome, but there's a lot I can do here with the desert, and it does fill out all my combat styles, whereas Mauritania is a lot more focused on melee, less focused on all 3 of the combat styles. So yeah, I want to pose that question to you guys. If you were me and you were choosing Varlamore and then Fremnik, would you choose Desert or Mauritania, given that we now have this relic coming in? Curious what your thoughts are, let me know. And this is the Relic Reveal for today. See you later.